We've got Ron Moshier coming up. We're talking some high school basketball. Before we get to Ron, though, I want to ask Ron's thoughts on this. I do have a list of the top things that men and women want for Valentine's Day. And you just said you don't want anything, right?
No.
In exchange for not having to buy someone something.
That's perfectly
You're fine. Not taking a gift.
No gift for no gift.
I think I'm in that boat as well. Over 500 men were asked what they want. 41% say they don't want anything for Valentine's Day. 41% of the men surveyed said they didn't want anything for Valentine's Day. It's possible a lot of those guys just aren't in relationships, though. The survey only asked if they were married or not. About one-third of guys were not. Some of them were probably just single, and they don't expect to get anything, as you were just mentioning. Also, 25% of women said they don't want anything for Valentine's Day this year.
Which is a lie. Which, if you're the 25%, if you are the man with one of the women who's in that 25%, do not believe it. Otherwise, you won't need a gift next year either. But you know what the interesting thing about this Valentine's Day thing is at one point, if you start a relationship with somebody, so let's say you're talking to somebody or whatever, and you're dating, let's say you started talking to this person middle of January. Are you required to give them a Valentine's Day gift?
If you expect them to be your date, yes.
Well, okay, for Valentine's Day, yes. Okay, if you actually have plans to go out, I guess. But what if you're not in a long-term relationship or even anything official? You're just dating. You're going to get a Valentine's Day gift to somebody?
How are you? Okay, hold on. I don't want to delay Ron. Ron, I'm going to bring you in on this.
Ron's got all the expertise.
Ron, Andrew is trying to justify to me that a man could be in a, quote, dating situation with a woman and
they just started talking.
Not for over a month. And not get her something for Valentine's Day. This is a fail. You're
already buying her dinner.
Well, then
you're taking her out.
You have to get her something for
Valentine's
Day.
Yes, you're getting her the dinner.
Ron, can you explain this to him?
Well, it may be difficult, Jeff, for me to explain this to him because I haven't been in a, quote, dating situation. I've been in the same relationship for almost 40 years, and I can tell you our Valentine's Day out was yesterday because I was off. We went to Coleman's, to the Irish pub in Syracuse. And, of course, across the street is the Cashel House. And my wife, Monica, who's pure Irish, wanted some earrings, so we sort of double dated, and myself and our friend John I went to Coleman's, and we sat at the bar and had a pint.
There you go.
The two women went across the street with credit cards, and she came back with some lovely earrings, some Irish earrings, which she wore to school to work today. So
that's awesome.
We're all good. And then we'll have dinner here in front of the fireplace on Thursday night. She's ordered chicken quesadillas, which I make. So that'll be it.
Ron, you're such a romantic.
But that's after almost 40 years together. So
all the mistakes were made early for Ron. He's got it down to a science now.
No, Ron, listen, that's great. And the only reason I dragged you in is just because I needed the voice of another man to explain to Andrew that you cannot take a woman on a date on Valentine's Day and expect that you can get away with no card, no chocolate, no flowers, something like that. You've got to do.
Oh my God!
Part of it.
You better do one of the staples. Andrew, yeah.
At a minimum,
do something, the chocolate or maybe a little combination, So
absolutely. All right, just quickly, Ron, before we jump into basketball, the top 5 things guys want for Valentine's Day. What is something you want for Valentine's Day, Ron?
Well, I'm in that. I think you said 41%. I told her nothing.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've got too many things in my giant shrine downstairs.
Yeah.
So she knows I don't need any more of that. So, I mean, I'd be happy with
60 minutes of peace and quiet.
Seeing that it's my 40th, reunion in college, I'd be happy with another Cortland State hoodie sweatshirt. That's what I told her.
Easy to please. Men in
pretty simple. Pretty simple.
Men in the survey said they would settle for a card, a bottle of booze, breakfast in bed, or a book. Women said a card, candy, flowers, jewelry, or a massage. So,
well, I think we're gonna do the couples massage thing at the casino when she's off of school next week. But
there you go.
But so that's not right on Valentine's Day, but that's why we're doing. That's how we've scheduled it.
Yeah, and you find that a lot too, where people celebrate Valentine's Day around Valentine's Day? Because most
you can never get a reservation.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, well, that's just one of the, you can never get a reservation, and, what
there's
else?
a lot going on.
There's a lot of people, plus, traffic.
You might find some inflated prices for things because everyone knows there's so much demand on Valentine's Day. So, Ron, I think you have a secret that most men should adopt, and that is do whatever makes your wife happy, but do it like the weekend before or after Valentine's Day.
Just give her your credit card. That's it. Just give her your credit card.
Oh, hey, Andrew, believe me, she has her own credit card. After 40 years, that's another thing.
Yeah, exactly.
She doesn't borrow a credit card from me, that's for sure.
There you go.
Ron, let's jump into high school basketball this weekend. How much time left before we're in a playoff run here?
Oh, well, the seedings come out Wednesday morning, Jeff. And probably half of our area schools are already done, have played their 20 games. We've got a couple teams with 19 games. In fact, there's a few good matchups before Wednesday's seeding meeting, rescheduled games, that were snowed out earlier in the season. Like Utica Academy of Science plays at West Canada Valley. I think that's probably the biggest matchup. Whitesboro, New Hartford. New Hartford's having a down year, but that's a rivalry. That's Whitesboro's last game coming up of the regular season. So there's a few matchups like that. RFA's got Henniger, I think, as their last game. So there are a few matchups coming up just before the seedings, but majority of teams I think are done now with regular season. So we'll wait till Wednesday's seeding meeting, which they go by. Now it's a point system. For instance, if a Class C team beats a Class A team, you get more points. If you play a larger school and win, you don't get penalized as much for a loss if you're a smaller school losing to a bigger school, that kind of thing. But I'd say I just jotted down some of my quote-unquote favorites locally. In AA, you've got RFA, who's 16-3, and has lost to only state-ranked teams, AA teams, Corcoran and West Genesee, and their other loss was to Notre Dame, I believe, which they split with them this year. And you can't forget Notre Dame. They won A last year. They were pushed up to AA this year, and they've sort of been Jekyll and Hyde this year, but I still think they're dangerous come playoff time. And in Class A, Whitesboro, I've talked about in the last couple of weeks, they're 16-3, and their three losses are to AA teams, two of them to RFA by 4 and 2 points. In fact, Whitesboro's three losses are by 4, 4, and 2 points. So,
wow.
They're going to be. I'd be shocked if they weren't the top seed in Class A. Again, I don't have access to that point system or the total points. Janesville DeWitt's another good Class A team. Whitesboro's already beat them once this year. And in Class B, I kind of like Holland Patton. They've got it together right now. They just knocked off their league champion, Sherburne Earlville, by 25 points, and they lost to them earlier in the year. So Holland Patton in Class B, they're 15-4. They've got a couple of those football players, like Josh Ernst and DJ Harder, two of their top players from a Section 3 championship football team. So I'd say them locally in Class B. And in Class C, you've got the two teams who just squared off about a week ago, Utica Academy of Science and Cooperstown. And I can't forget West Canada Valley. West Canada Valley 16-3.
Just quickly on the Utica Academy of Science, you said they still have one more game this week. Does the weather, I'm sure the weather could impact whether or not that game is played, and would that affect any seedings when they come out on Wednesday?
Oh, I'm sure they would. I'm sure it would. That matchup, it's C versus C because it's West Canada Valley hosting Utica Academy of Science. I have it jotted down as February 12th. What's the date? 10th? That would be. Is that Wednesday?
No. Today's the 11th. So that'll be tomorrow
today's
night.
The 11th. I'm sorry. That's tomorrow.
Yeah. So with the weather system coming in, I think maybe
that might get postponed, or it wouldn't be postponed now. It'd probably be canceled entirely.
Yeah.
So, but Utica Academy of Science has won 14 in a row. They're 18-1. I've done a story about them. This is only their second year as a varsity team. Last year they were Class D after coming up from a JV program. And this year they're 18-1. avenge their only loss against Cooperstown. Cooperstown's 18-2. They lost back-to-back games to Utica Academy of Science and Holland Patton, but they're still dangerous with the kid Jack Lambert, who scored over 1,500 points. Those are the top C teams in our area, I think. And in D, I don't know if you guys remember Tom Blackford. He's won a couple of state titles at Hamilton. Then he won them with Donald Foyle, if you remember that, way back then. And then he went to David turned them into a respectable AA program in a very tough Syracuse league. And now he's back to Hamilton the last 2 or 3 years, and they're 16-4, and they've won 7 in a row. So Hamilton in Class D, I really think they're dangerous. Two of their losses are to DeRuyter. The last one was in overtime. So I really think they've got a shot in Class D.
Ron, one of the big matchups you talk about. Whitesboro over the weekend, actually. In fact, 2 of the 3 losses coming against RFA. Are they going to potentially have to face? Is Whitesboro going to eventually have to face RFA maybe again? And
no, because Whitesboro's Class A.
Okay, all right, and
RFA's AA, and like I said, Whitesboro's only losses are to AA Ithaca, and Tommy Morial didn't play their all-time leading scorer in that game because he was hurt. And they lost that game by, I think, 3 or 4 points. And the other 2 losses are 4-point and 2-point losses to RFA. The other night, Whitesboro on Friday, they fell behind by a lot of points, then scrambled back and wound up losing, I think it was 59-57 to RFA. And I hate to say a good loss. I'm sure Coach Garrett Hertham wouldn't say that.
Right.
But I still think that's going to get them ready for the playoffs. They've got tomorrow, they host New Hartford. I think that's probably senior night, I'm guessing, at Whitesboro. And they got a ton of seniors. They got 4 senior starters. So that should be a big night for them. And New Hartford's, like I said, has struggled this year. So Whitesboro's looking to go in. I got to believe they're going to be the top seed in Class A. And, again, they haven't won a section title since 1972. So that'd be quite a story if they can get it done.
Ron, so seedings come out Wednesday. Playoffs begin this weekend?
Yes. If the seedings come out Wednesday, usually the first round preliminaries would be Friday. I'm just guessing, but usually it would start Friday.
All right. And Ron,
it gives teams actually 2 days, Wednesday and Thursday, to prepare for their first playoff game.
All right, Ron, maybe we can touch base with you Friday and get a preview of the matchups as we head into the weekend, and we'll get an idea as to what you guys will be covering live in person this weekend.
Oh, sure. That'd be great.
All right, Ron Moshier from the Utica OD. Of course, check him out at utica.od.com. Ron, thank you so much for the report and also the advice for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, enjoy that couples massage.
Yeah, I was going to say, guys, I'll talk to you Friday morning if I survive Valentine's Day night.
There you go.
All right, Ron Moshier from the Utica OD, of course, always does a great job keeping us up to date on all the action in high school sports, whether it's football, basketball, whatever it is, baseball.
Or the Love Life action.
Or the Love Life, yeah. And we're heading into the weekend. As he said, the Section 3 seedings for the playoff bracket come out on Wednesday morning.